Chris got hit, in the knees yesterday, which is a play that I think they ought to take out of the game of football from a receiver standpoint. I've kind of talked to the PA about it for a while and I'd like to speak to the rules competition committee at some point this offseason I've seen that hit too many times where a defenseless pass catcher is in the process of catching a ball, then he's hit by the defender. And, a lot of the defenders will say, well, we can't hit him in the head anymore. Well, the point is you can't hit anyone in the head anymore, and you can't hit anyone in the knees anymore, except for receivers, because you can still hit them in the knees, which doesn't make any sense to me. You can't hit a defensive lineman in the knees. You can't hit a punter in the knees. You can't hit a quarterback in the knees. You can't hit a DB in the knees, except we're somehow allowing hits on defenseless receivers in the knees. So, it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be really thought out. It really impacts guys' careers. And Chris, I know he'll overcome it. It's a tough rehab, but you tear your ACL. That's a lifelong injury, and I'm sure almost every pass catcher in the NFL would prefer hit to the head over a hit to the knees. I certainly would. I'd take that, a million out of a million.
It's amazing, man. Tom said basically everything that I said the other day, and my whole thing was protect your brother. You know what I'm saying? Protect your brother. You got to understand, I like PJ Williams. I like PJ Williams. When I called him out, it wasn't because the hit was necessarily dirty, okay? It was a clean hit by NFL standards. But to me, it was a dirty hit because PJ Williams, he's a very smart guy. He's played all the positions in the secondary. He's a very versatile guy, so he's a very smart guy. When he hit Godwin on the knees, he immediately got up and celebrated. He wanted to hit him at his knees. And all I'm saying is, look, man, we're all trying to make a living. Why would you hit him up there? You ask any player in any sport, female, male, in any sport, would you rather get hit in the knee or would you rather get hit in the shoulder? They're going to, 100 out of 100 times, they're going to say, hit me up in the upper body because now I have a chance to get up and walk away. I get a chance to get up and literally walk away. But when you go at somebody's knees, and Tom is 100% spot on, you don't go at their knees because we are brothers. I can't take away your opportunity to make millions and millions of dollars. Now, check this out. Chris Godwin signed a 1-year, $15 million deal. 1-year, $15 million deal. He could have gone many other places, got $50, $60 million or $40 million guaranteed and secured the bag. He sacrificed for that situation. And now all of a sudden, what team is going to go and pay Chris Godwin 4 years, $60 million and guarantee $40 million? Because he's coming off an ACL injury. So what he's got to do, he's got to sign another 1-year deal, go through an entire season, 17 weeks, 18 weeks, plus playoffs, and see if he can stay healthy to go get his money. So that's why I tell players all the time, these teams have money. They're very, very wealthy. You got to secure the bag. Always get your money. Don't sacrifice for anybody.
Well, I completely agree. So let me start there. And something that stood out from what Tom said was that receiver is the only position that we let hits like this occur to. That resonated with me, right? You can't do it to a quarterback. That's completely out of the game. You can't do it to a defensive lineman. That's completely out of the game. You can't do it to an offensive lineman. That's completely out of the game. So you can't do it to anybody else. Now, how the hell are you going to look at me and say that a receiver can't do it to a kicker after a kick? How the hell are you going to look at me and say that a receiver who's catching the ball with his head turned, running full speed, and getting hit from a place that he doesn't even know is coming, that could be a legal hit? It just makes no sense. And to hear Tom go, $1 million out of $1 million, I would take the high hit over the low hit. Well, why aren't we talking to the players then before we're making this rule? And this has been one that hasn't made sense to me for a long time. We've seen Gronk take these shots. I thought Gronk, after the first hit, we both thought this, Rod, that he was looking a little tentative out there after that massive shot. Let's be clear. I mean, this was a game where New Orleans came in and from the opening whistle was the more physical team. They were physically just pushing around Tampa in their own stadium in every single way. But I will say that I thought that P.J. Williams shot low. It changed Gronk. It changed some of those weapons. I just thought it looked like Tampa was playing tentative from then on out.
Absolutely. It was spot on. I mean, you look at Gronk, when you've had injuries to your knee, you think about that and you say, oh my God, I don't want to go across the middle. No, send me out to the sideline. I don't want to come across the middle. It changed the very nature of the game because you saw Even Tyler Johnson, he was in the game. He went across the middle.
Yep.
He's peeking and looking. And I'm like, it just, you and I, we talked about it. It completely changed the nature of the game.
I do think that they will go back and look at that as we take a look at some of Gronk's plays, and he just always looks sort of half speed. And anytime they would take a close shot of his face, he just looked nervous.
Look at that.
He's dropping balls. He's looking up for the hit before he's even making the catch. And he had the biggest drop of the night on that deep one late in the game where he just never even saw it. Brady put the perfect throw down the sideline, and he just didn't look up to see it. Right there it was.
Yeah, Fournette told me that Rob Gronkowski is the guy that brings all the energy to this team, and he didn't have any energy. We're looking at him, we're like, Rob is normally a lot more, active and excited. He just kind of out there. He looked tired. He looked like he was out of shape. I'm like, what's going on with Rob Gronkowski? But that hit really set the tone.
And it wasn't the only hit, right? I mean, I can remember a handful of other big hits, even the one where Fournette got spun around. I mean, they spun him in a full 360, and Fournette leaves the game. I mean, they came in there and they just pushed him around.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.